welcome back to another lesson. In the last 2 lessons, we covered what the IELTS writing section was all about, looked at writing task 1 in more detail, and the various question types that you could be asked as part of writing task 1. Before we get into how to answer the different questions, let's look at how to structure our answers. Let's get started. Structuring your response in a clear and organized manner is important for this task. How does it help and why is it important? Let's take a look. First of all, as mentioned before, it helps you stay organized. A well-structured response will make it easier for the examiner to follow your ideas and understand the information you are presenting. It also helps you to stay on track and ensures that you cover all the required points. Aim to spend about 3 to 5 minutes to plan your essay. A clear structure also helps to highlight key information and emphasize the most important information, which is essential for achieving a high score in the IELTS exam. By structuring your response, you can highlight the key features, trends, and comparisons in the data you are analyzing. Another important point to the importance of a well-structured essay is that it helps you manage your time effectively. As we know, time management is critical in the IELTS exam. A structured response can help you use your time more efficiently. By planning your response and breaking it down into clear sections, you can ensure that you allocate enough time to each part and avoid spending too much time on one area. Also, a well-structured response demonstrates your ability to organize your ideas logically and present information clearly and coherently, which is a key indicator of language proficiency and will help you achieve a higher score in the IELTS exam. All right, now that we know the importance of a well-structured essay, let's go on to understand how to structure our essays or our responses. We're going to take a look at paragraphing first. When it comes to paragraphing, it depends on the specific task and your writing style. However, as a general guideline, you should aim to have at least 3 to 4 paragraphs. So first of all, an introductory paragraph. This paragraph should provide a brief overview of the graph, chart, or diagram that you are describing and clearly state the main trends or patterns that you will have to discuss in your essay. Second, the body paragraph or paragraphs. The number of body paragraphs will depend on the complexity of the information presented in the graph, chart, or diagram. In the body paragraph, you should provide specific details and examples to support your analysis of the data and use appropriate linking words to connect your ideas. And finally, a concluding paragraph. The final paragraph should summarize the key points discussed in your essay. It's important to note that concluding paragraphs isn't exactly a conclusion, so using words like "in conclusion" should not be there. Instead, the final paragraph acts as a summarization, summing up overall. This might sound a little confusing now, but as we go through the next couple of lessons, we'll see how to do this in more detail. All right, now that we know how many paragraphs we need to have, let's look at, first up, the introduction and/or overview, the details for that. First of all, start with a brief introduction that paraphrases the question and gives an overview of the information presented in the graph, chart, or table. The key thing here is that paraphrasing. Paraphrasing the question demonstrates your vocabulary, which in turn contributes to your lexical resource score for the assessment criteria. Next, you're going to follow it up with a clear and concise overview of the key trends or patterns in the data. Here, you might want to pick out a maximum of 3 trends and focus on those only throughout the task. You will then provide specific details to support the key trends mentioned in the overview. The next structure you can follow is introduction, details, compare and contrast. What are we going to start with? You guessed it, a paraphrased introduction. Next, present specific details from the graph, chart, or table to support your points. You can then go ahead and compare and contrast the data, identifying similarities and differences between the different sets of information. Now, you will also need to incorporate and remember to organize your writing logically, use appropriate linking words and phrases to connect ideas, and vary your vocabulary and sentence structures to demonstrate your range of language skills. All right, we've come to the end of our lesson. Let's recap. During this lesson, we looked at the importance of structuring task 1, paragraphing for task 1, how to structure your paragraphs, and the different structures you can use for task 1. Do join in for the next lesson where we'll be going through useful vocabulary, sentences, and phrases for task 1, so stay tuned.